evening and welcome to On Our Way to Kindergarten. My name is Lindsay Engelhardt. I am the Early Learning and 4K Director for the district. We know that sending your child to kindergarten is a time that can be filled with many emotions. There's often a lot of excitement as your family prepares, and it can also be a time when you have a lot of questions about what it will look like. Our goal this evening is that at the end, you'll have a better idea of what to expect for your kindergartner and to have any of your burning questions answered. To kick us off this evening, I would like to introduce to you our superintendent, Dr. Leslie Bergstrom.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. And no, you don't need to clap. I know you were wondering, should I? But it's nice to see everybody here today. As Lindsay said, I'm Leslie Bergstrom. I'm the superintendent here, and we're really happy that you're here tonight. Thank you for spending your time with us. On behalf of the entire administrative team that's here today, we want to warmly welcome you into this special chapter in your child's life and in yours, right? It's a big deal for everybody who's here tonight. So kindergarten, it's a big step, and it's filled with all that amazing wonder and growth and all of these firsts that are so special. It's where they begin to explore who they are as learners and as friends and as members of a classroom community. And while we're here to, of course, teach the basics related to letters and numbers and and the routines and all of those important things, what we're really most excited about is making sure that every child feels seen and celebrated and valued as a person. Because when those things are happening within a classroom, the learning comes so much more easily to our children. So, and we know that behind every kindergartner, there is a family full of all of those hopes and dreams, and probably a little bit of nervous energy around this kind of change that you're about to embark on. But that's where our partnership comes in. And you can see that here. One of our really important core values are strong family and community partnerships. And we truly believe that when schools and families are working together, that's when children thrive. And you're your child's first teacher, and your voice and your insights are something that we care deeply about and we want to hear about, and we create opportunities and space for you to be able to share those things because it helps us be better for them. So throughout the year, we'll keep the lines of communication open, and we'll invite you to be active participants in all of the learning. And whether it's volunteering or reading at home, or really just, as I said, sharing your child's stories with us, your input really matters. So thank you for trusting us with your little ones. And we're honored to be a part of their story and yours. And we really can't wait to see what amazing things the school year brings. So once again, thank you for being here. I know you'll learn a lot, and there's still time. You'll continue to learn as we get closer and closer to that big day in September. And now I'm going to hand it back to Lindsay.
Thank you, Dr. Bergstrom. When I first introduced, I forgot to mention there is a translation happening up in the upper left-hand corner. If that is a service that would be of help to you, please feel free to head up to that area. Tonight, we will review important things coming up this summer as you prepare for the next school year. We will then take a look at the day in the life of a kindergartner and wrap up with a chance to hear from our experts, our elementary school principals that make it all happen. Here are some photos combined from all 4 of our elementary schools. If you've already had children go through the Oregon School District, you may recognize a building or a teacher. But if you're new, you will likely not be able to tell which school you're in. That is because we place a very strong emphasis on offering similar experiences across all of our elementary schools. So whether your child goes to Brooklyn Elementary, Forest Edge Elementary, Netherwood Knoll Elementary, or Prairie View Elementary, you can expect a similar, high-quality experience with the same core values and focus on doing what's best for all of our students. Listed on the screen are some upcoming dates relevant to next school year. Families who did not attend Oregon School District 4K this year should register for kindergarten on the Oregon School District website, Infinite Campus, as soon as possible. Families access Infinite Campus to add funds to their child's food service account, view classroom assignments, monitor attendance, and access grades and report cards when they are made available. Elementary school placement letters are sent out to families in July. A definite date has not yet been set. In August, our annual district online registration will be available through Infinite Campus, where you'll be asked to review and or update your information. You will also be able to view your child's homeroom teacher in Infinite Campus in mid-August. At the end of August, we will host Ready, Set, Go conferences. Families and students are invited to sign up for a time to meet their classroom teacher, see the elementary school, meet other support staff such as student services and rotations teachers. This is a great opportunity to ease anxiety for students and families as they approach the first day of kindergarten in a new building. Next, we will show a short video that gives us a glimpse into the day in the life of a kindergartner.
Sending a child to kindergarten is a time filled with many emotions. This video will give you a glimpse into a day in the life of a kindergartner to ease some anxieties and answer some of your questions. Students arrive to school in the morning by bus, car, by bike, or on foot. You will see a lot of staff up wearing yellow or orange vests outside in the mornings, greeting our students as they arrive and ensuring their safety. All students have the option to eat breakfast at school each day. Some students enter the school and head to the cafeteria and grab breakfast, while others head right to their classrooms. When students arrive at their classrooms, they will hang their items in their designated hook or cubby. Then they'll enter the classroom and take care of morning jobs, such as making a lunch choice and putting away their home folder. Kindergartners participate in a morning meeting each day. Morning meetings are a great opportunity for community building and to get to know one another. During morning meetings, there might be a special greeting of the day, a sharing activity, or a quick game. Throughout the day, our kindergartners will participate in literacy, math, science, and social studies. During literacy, our kindergartners engage in phonics, writing, and reading. Kindergartners build on the social-emotional skills gained in 4K and have many collaborative hands-on learning opportunities throughout their day. There are times throughout your student's day when they are not with their homeroom teacher. If they are outside of their classroom, your child's teacher or another adult will walk students to and from their homeroom. These times might include physical education, world language, art, music, library, technology, or social-emotional learning time. Staff that teach these subject areas are some of the luckiest teachers in school because they get to meet our students as they enter as kindergartners and work with them all through their elementary career. Our kindergartners have lunch each day in the lunchroom. They have the choice to bring a lunch from home, take a school lunch, or just take a meal. The school lunch menu is available on our district website. Kindergartners will have recess twice a day and will go outside for recess, weather permitting. It's important that families send appropriate outdoor weather gear for recess. This is another time of day when kindergartners enjoy seeing all grade level peers. Kindergartners will have snack in their classroom every day. Your child's teacher will communicate the procedures for snack and if there are any allergies to be aware of. Our kindergartners have the opportunity to participate in free play. Free play is a beneficial time for students to build social skills and interact with peers and adults in a less structured environment. At the end of the day, our kindergartners will pack up to go home. Be sure to check your students' backpack each night to see examples of their hard work and learning, for any mail or paperwork from school, and to check their home folder. Our kindergartners are escorted to their pickup location, whether it's the bus lot or the carpool lane. It's important to communicate with your student's teacher what their end-of-day plans are and notify them of any changes. As the year goes on, our kindergartners become more independent and our kindergarten teachers will walk them outside and allow them to walk the rest of the way on their own to the bus line or carpool lane. Of course, there are always lots of staff outside supervising along the way to ensure the safety of all of our learners.
elementary school principals available to answer some frequently asked questions that have not already been covered. We will also have a chance for you to ask any individual questions at the end out in the lobby area. Before we begin, each of our elementary principals will introduce themselves and their school.
Hello, I'm Carrie Majeski from Forest Edge.
I'm Anna Seidenstricker from Brooklyn Elementary. Hi everybody, I'm Lindsay Eimerman. I'm the principal at Netherwood Knoll.
And last but not least, Dawn Goltz, principal of Prairie View Elementary. First off, it's great to see so many families here. It's a pretty good turnout. We are so excited to have you into our schools, and I know the number one question is usually, well, where will my kid go? And there's a few guidelines we use when placing students and selecting their school. And I can't underscore enough what Lindsay said earlier. The four of us work very closely together. I think we have chats going all day or phone calls going all the time. So we're offering the same programming throughout our buildings. So it's pretty seamless from site to site. You'll be in good hands no matter where you land. That said, our district is, I always tell people, kind of long and narrow, like Illinois maybe. And really it's divided into thirds. The northern tier comes to Forest Edge, which is located in Fitchburg. The middle area of that long, narrow district, they end up at Prairie View or Netherwood based on numbers and class sizes. And then that southern tier goes to Brooklyn Elementary. So looking at your home address, you'll have a pretty good idea of where you might end up. And that map can be found on our district webpage where the general borders are. A joke I made last year, and it did not land at all, so I'm going to try it with all of you, is think of where you shop at Quick Trip. So if you go to Fitchburg on Lacey Road, you're probably coming to me. If you go in town and you go to maybe the one over closer to Subway, you might go to Prairie View. If you're a central shopper, probably Netherwood. And if you go to the new Quick Trip, you're probably going to Brooklyn. So keep that in the back of your mind. I think that's a really good way to divide our new students. Thank you. I like you guys. Awesome. So we do look at your home addresses first to make a determination. And then we really start balancing those of you that might be kind of on a cusp. We start looking at numbers. Now you can never predict who's moving in where or how many kids are in a household. So we really look at, oh golly, Prairie View's a little low. Maybe they could take a few more, say if you're at one of the town Quick Trips. And we might look a little bit at shifting a little north, a little south, depending on your address. But basically it's fairly set with Cyene Road North coming to Fitchburg, Lincoln Road South going to Brooklyn, and anywhere in between, split between my friends Dawn and Lindsay. We do honor if you have a child already that's going to one of our sites. We'll make sure your families stay in the same school and follow along. Unless maybe you moved and wanted a different experience, we can work through that too. So check out the map online and kind of get an idea before that letter comes home. But know that we put a lot of thought and effort into making sure our classes are balanced, our sizes are equal, so that we can offer that same experience across sites.
Another question that we get is about transportation. So transportation is provided to any students that live more than 1/2 mile from their school, or if your care provider for after-school care or perhaps before-school care falls within that parameter as well as more than 1/2 mile from the school. The transportation routes are set later in the summer, usually sometime in August, so that I know can feel last minute, but that's also so that our bus drivers can give you the most accurate information that they have, because as we're getting route set and ensuring that we have every kid going where they need to go, that influences the times a bit. So we want to make sure that we're giving you the best information that we have. Certainly, if you are a family where perhaps your child's going to ride the bus to school from home, but then after school go to a care site, they might ride 2 separate buses, and that's just fine too. The most important thing will be to communicate with your child's kindergarten teacher at the beginning of the year about your after-school plans, just so that they know exactly where they're going, and I promise you they will make sure they get there. They walk their kindergartners out and stop at each bus to make sure that the right kids get on the right spot to head home. In addition, We teach the expectations for our buses at the beginning of the year, so that's another helpful thing so that your kids know what to expect if they aren't a bus rider, even when they take the bus for field trips and things like that, because we do have those throughout the year. So transportation is something that continues to evolve, but it is offered to all of your students as long as they fall in those parameters, and more information usually comes directly from the bus drivers before the school year starts.
All right, so Anna set me up really well explaining how kids get to the bus at the end of the day. One of the common worries that we hear from families is, how is my kiddo going to get around these big gigantic buildings? Or, oh, there's 2 gyms, how are they going to know which gym to go to? How will they find their bus? Which pickup lot? And so what we work really hard to do is ensure that the kindergartners kind of always have their own personal concierge. So if you were to come pick up in the office and you needed to pick up your kindergartner, one of our admin assistants or our paraprofessional will go get your little one and then bring them to you. Similarly, if someone gets injured on the playground or someone gets sick in class, we don't just expect that that tiny human is going to make their way to the office by themselves. We have radios where we'll call and have an adult. Sometimes we'll have student helpers, which is fun. My son is in kindergarten this year, and he was super jazzed because he got to show other kids where the main office was, because obviously my office was there. So don't worry about that. The other thing that I was going to say, even before the year starts, you'll get a lot of communication about pickup and drop-off. It tends to be a pretty intense time for us, ensuring that everyone's going to the right place and that everyone's going with the right caregiver. So when you do have those RSG conferences, Ready, Set, Go, in August, make sure that you will communicate your transportation plans with the teachers, because they really will do a handoff to each individual bus and to each pickup lot.
All right, so once our kids are in our building, it becomes lunchtime in the middle of the day, and our lunchrooms are pretty big. So how does lunch work at the elementary schools? Our kindergartners start in the morning by making their lunch choice in the classroom. As the video said, you can find the menus online, but our teachers do a great job of providing visuals of the lunch choices, because a kindergartner might not know what stir fry is. And so there's pictures that the teachers will have, and then students will make if they want the regular choice or the alternate choice. And then when they head to the lunchroom, the first weeks, we are all hands on deck. So we have lots of adult helpers in the lunchroom, but also in the lunch line, helping kids know how to hold a tray, letting them know which way the tray goes, where does the silverware go, where does the milk carton go. There's 3 types of milk you can choose, 2 types of white and 1 chocolate. So we have lots of adults that definitely help our students navigate the lunch line and go through and make sure they get their fruits and vegetables, make sure they get the choice that they made in the morning, and make sure then that they get from the lunch line to the lunch table, which means stopping at the condiment table and getting napkins and ranch dressing or mustard or ketchup. So we definitely have a little line of staff members making sure that our students get from point A to B in the lunchroom, and then after the lunchroom also going to recess or heading back to class. So at Prairie View Elementary, we even have some dots on the floor to make sure that our kids always know where they are headed when they are headed from the lunchroom to recess. Our lunch can be a fun time for kids. They get to sit with their classmates, their friends, their peers, and engage in conversation. Kids will get to make new friends, which is great. That's the best thing about kindergarten, is having all 4 K sites, or students that haven't been in 4 K sites coming, and the lunchtime is great for them. We ask that if students are bringing a cold lunch, that you practice during the summer of opening the different food containers that might be in those lunches. We do have, extra staff all the time in the lunchroom to be able to help, but some of those containers can be very tricky to turn and to put back on. So if you have time to practice that would be fabulous. Even if you have cold lunch, you can take milk. So kids will take their lunch card and be able to choose milk if they want to as well. So that's always an option. Kids have 20 minutes to eat. So if you have a child who takes 45 minutes to eat, you might want to practice before school starts and having that 20 minutes to eat, or not sending a lunch that takes an hour to eat.
All classrooms do have snack as well, so that's an option where a child can have some more food.
I know looking around that every single one of you is very excited about volunteering, and we are so excited to have you because it is just a joyful time to be in a kindergarten room. Always some good laughter, some good entertainment, and some good fun. And so we highly encourage that. However, if you think about a little kindergartner or 20 of them in a room, they need a little time to settle into their routines and kind of, I think of it like being imprinting on the mama duck so that they learn those kindergarten routines and they learn those structures and systems without the confusion of a parent being there or a grandma or any kind of volunteer, because we're trying to get those systems and structures in place first before it's confusing to a little mind of like who's in charge and who's doing the teaching here. So we really kind of shoot for more like an October start date-ish, where your teachers will reach out and be really excited to have you come on field trips, have you come read with kids, and it can look a variety of ways. We have some parents that might come every Tuesday at 10 and some that might come once a month. So teachers will work with you with those schedules. If you're at all interested, it is so rewarding to see the learning and what's happening in the classroom, and then to see your kid maybe in a different light where, oh, this is Johnny that they've been talking about at school, or this is what they mean when they say number corner. So getting to know that program, we'd love to have you, but we do take a little pause to start the year until kids are set and scheduled into their routines.
School supplies may be another topic on your mind, especially as we get into the summer months. And there are various ways that you can go about getting your school supplies. First, to know what your child might need, that will be communicated in the communication with the placement. Usually there's a list to share, but you can always find that school supply list on the website. And you certainly can go to the school-specific website, but the district website also has the school supply list, and the kindergarten lists are the same no matter which building you go to. So that will be available. You can certainly shop for your own items if that works best for you. Many of our PTO or parent-teacher organizations also organize with third-party vendors school supply boxes, so they kind of prep everything and ship it so that you don't have to stop at the store. And certainly if school supplies are something that feel like a stressor on your family financially, we also have services to help supply those supplies for your kindergartner, so they have everything that you need for kindergarten, and that's not an extra thing on your minds, because we will definitely take care of that if that's something that your family needs.
All right, so how can you prepare your kiddo for kindergarten? The most important thing that you can do is just start talking about it. The more that you talk about it at home, the more comfortable that your child is going to become thinking about school. They are, of course, going to be nervous, and you can explain that you're also a little bit nervous and that trying new things is hard. If you would like, you can come by the playgrounds this summer. We encourage families to come by and check out the playground, walk around the building. All of us are in our schools all summer long, so if you do come by, please say hello. And then you will get more information this summer about those RSG Ready Cycle conferences. And so once you get those, when you come into the building, we have staff who will show you how to get to your little one's classroom, and then you'll have the opportunity to get acquainted with the teacher, get acquainted with the space, and get acquainted with the building. That's it.
We went over a lot of information tonight and recognize that you still may have questions right now. We recognize that you may have questions next week, next month, in August, whenever that time may be that those questions come up. You will notice that up on our screen is our district website. It was referenced in a number of the slides, and it's a really valuable resource to you. There's so much information on the website that can be easily found, and so I highly recommend you check it out to see if your questions can be answered there, because you can get it almost immediately, and then know that we're here whenever those questions come up and are happy to answer them. So if you have other questions, I will be here tonight along questions that you still have. Otherwise, my contact information is up there. If you are a current 4K family, your 4K teachers have lots of information and could get you the contact information to who to reach out to. And know that I'm available all summer to answer your questions or direct them to the person who can best help you. Thank you for coming, and we will be out in the lobby for any additional questions.